Our top story on Newsday is the developing story out of Java. There are fears for a number of asylum seekers following the sinking of a boat carrying reportedly up to 200 people off the coast of Java. News Corp Australia reporter Paul Toohey is in West Java and he joins me now on the line. Paul Toohey, thank you very much for your time. Tell me, where are you and what reports are you getting about the situation there?
Well, I'm in Chin Down, which is the place where the boat set off from yesterday morning. We had left the area yesterday afternoon and then got word of the sinking, so we came back overnight. The scene is, you'd have to say, pretty devastating here. There's children, I think, are making up the major numbers that are missing. There's parents just saying that they don't know where their kids are. I spoke to a mother who's lost 3 kids and her husband. There are children in the morgue here, I think about 3 at this time, but police are still searching in the seas about 5 kilometres offshore here on the southern coast of West Java, looking for bodies.
Have you been able to get a sense of how many were on board this boat? The reports here in Australia were about 200.
Look, the police are insisting there was 175 on the boat, and that 157 have been recovered. We think that's wrong. Speaking to people, the Sri Lankan community, the Tamils who were on the boat, it was mainly Tamils and Iranians, say there was at least 150 Sri Lankans on the boat and at least 65 Iranians. So there are a fair few people missing.
And so we've got reports of at least 3 dead. Are you able to give us any update? It sounds like that you believe there's many more.
I think there's definitely many more. I would be saying around 40 at this point. I mean, I've seen 3 bodies lying under sarongs and other bodies in body bags, and just had the misfortune of watching a mother holding her dead son out of the hospital here. I'm not sure how that happened or how she was reunited with her son, but it was a pretty terrible moment to witness.
A terrible scene there. So you said you were there yesterday, obviously reporting on the asylum seeker story. And were you aware that this boat had left there, or can you tell us a little bit more about how you came to be in Chin Down?
Yeah, well, look, the background to it is that we've been on the southern coast for a couple of days looking for boats, basically, and we sort of hooked up with some people who said that Chin Down was really the hot spot. So I guess we took a punt and came here. It's only sort of 80 k's from, well, I mean, driving 80 k's takes 5 hours, put it that way, on these roads. We came here, we interviewed some fishermen who agreed that this was one of the major departure points for asylum boats. They told us normally when a boat is set to depart, there's huge tension in the village and stuff like that. And they said there's no boat about to leave. So we took them at their word and woke up the next morning and there was this black dot on the horizon, which they admitted was an asylum seeker boat. They had just loaded up, these local fishermen. They had just ferried all these people out in their little fiberglass boats to the bigger boat, and it was sailing off into the distance. Pardon me, but not sailing very successfully. It took water very quickly. It was in no shape from the moment it left. They have described sort of trying to head out for about 2 hours, then pleading with the captain, who they say was a Sri Lankan, to take them back. He agreed, but then about 3 hours back into the journey, some waves hit the boat and it nosedived and sunk. And it just broke apart instantly, according to people we're talking to, and everyone was thrown into the water.
And it's your understanding that most of these people, or at least some of these people, are from Iran?
Most are from Sri Lanka, about a third are from Iran.
Right, so most from Sri Lanka and a third from Iran. And were the villagers there able to tell you that they were definitely heading for, say, Christmas Island?
Yes. Yeah. There's only one destination and that's it. I mean, you know, ironically, I suppose some of the people who went out. I mean, the boat was spotted at about 8 p.m. last night by a local fisherman who raised the alarm. It took another 3 hours for them to get to the boat, and at that stage, by the time they were rescued, they'd been in the water for 6 hours. The irony I refer to is the fact that some of the same local fishermen who took the people to this boat were, after that, involved in the rescue.
And no doubt the recovery of bodies now as well, Paul Toohey. I can't imagine what it must be like being there at the moment with this scene in front of you.
Yeah, well, it is hard to imagine. I mean, there's just people in grief and certainly in regret at this time. And the visibility of the bodies coming on shore is certainly adding to the trauma, because there's sort of the bodies are coming into these town halls where the people are gathered, and it's just adding to the distress.
Paul Toohey, we've taken up a lot of your time. I thank you very much for speaking to us today on Newsday, and obviously a very difficult story that you're covering there. Thank you.
No problem. See ya.